A lot of people don't talk about it, but there are many foods at the grocery store that are as good, if not better, than OZEMPIC and mounjaro. And maybe the reason people don't talk about it is because it's way cheaper than getting the shots that cost a ton every month. And I'm talking about foods that are easily accessible and delicious, that are high in soluble fiber, high in healthy fats, high in polyphenols, and really protein dense. These are foods that produce natural GLP-1s in your gut and do the same thing as OZEMPIC, except way cheaper and way easier. Before we go into those foods, I also do want you to check out something that I love, thrivemarket.com, using my promo link down below. Yes, they are an 8-year supporter of my channel, but the reason why I like them is pretty much everything from the grocery store is cheaper. And speaking of cheaper, today, the fall favorite sale began. Until 10/13, 25% off hundreds of Bobby approved items. And if you're a first-time customer, you get 30% off your first order, and you can stack it on top of the sale items, which is fantastic. Pretty much everything you get on Thrive Market is cheaper than the grocery store, and the box comes to your door. So once again, my link is down below, 30% off your first order and a free gift. You will love it. So we'll talk about the foods in a second. Let's talk about fiber. Everyone knows fiber is good for you, but soluble fiber is really good for producing natural GLP-1 hormone in your gut, because soluble fiber isn't absorbed into your body, and when it gets to your colon, it actually produces short chain fatty acids, which helps produce or secrete the GLP-1 hormone. Well, the easiest way to get soluble fiber is psyllium husk. If you put this into water and stir it, it turns into a sludge, which is why it also helps you bowel movements really well too. But this is great stuff. You think of Metamucil, that's psyllium husk, but that has like artificial flavorings and colorings. So if you want the supplement that will help, just get some of this, put it into your smoothie, and you'll get a great fiber boost. You'll see right on the back here, you get 3.5 grams of soluble fiber. But if you want to know foods that are in the middle aisle of the grocery store, I'll show you that right now. If we walk over to the pasta aisle, and I pick up a pasta specifically made of red lentils, that's going to be really helpful, because legumes like lentils, chickpeas, oats, all that stuff is high in soluble fiber. But if you want to get them in a form factor that you and I really like in pasta form, check this out. One serving of this, because the primary ingredient is red lentil flour, has 5 grams of fiber, and bonus points, it has 23 grams of protein. Now, this one seems to be having quinoa too. I prefer brands that only have like lentils or chickpeas, because you're gonna have more fiber content. They don't seem to have it here, but you get the gist. When you combine the protein and the fiber, you get a double benefit. And in a minute, I'll talk about healthy fats helping with natural GLP-1 production. What happens when you combine good fat with good protein? You satiate your hunger for a long time. Kick that on top with 5 grams of fiber, which slow down digestion, increase satiety, and also increase GLP-1 hormone. Ooh, triple threat. You wouldn't think of a cracker being a satiety-rich food, and it's not. Look, this cracker has 0 grams, but if you know how to look for crackers and find ones that are high in fiber, you can actually find a GLP-1 inducing one like this. This is Mary's Gone crackers, and there's a reason why one serving of crackers has 3 grams of fiber. Look at the ingredients. It's not made with wheat flour or enriched wheat flour. It's made with brown rice, quinoa, flax, sesame seeds. Complex carbohydrates, yes, but fiber-rich carbohydrates. Once again, you get that fiber in there, so you're getting the good satiety, but the fiber helps secrete the GLP-1 inducing hormone. So a good cracker is Mary's. Another one, which, gosh, they don't have it here, but it's called Flackers. The fiber in that is like 8 grams, because it's primarily made of flax seeds, incredibly nutrient dense. I'm pretty sure they have it on Thrive Market. They have this on Thrive Market. They have the pasta on Thrive Market. And once again, my link down below gets you 30% off your first order, and they have their sale now. But crackers and other soluble rich foods like lentil pasta are great natural GLP-1 inducers. Protein, specifically lean protein, is fantastic, because as the protein breaks down in your body, it naturally produces the GLP-1 hormone in your gut, increasing satiety, increasing healthy insulin. And actually, I saw a clip of Lauren Bostic from the Skinny Confidential talking about how her Ozempic is eating meat like steak and chicken because of what I just said. And fun fact, I will be recording the Skinny Confidential in December for my first ever podcast interview, which will be a lot of fun. So why lean? Because if you remember our video a few weeks ago about the most protein-rich foods at the grocery store, chicken breast versus chicken thighs, is even though I love chicken thighs, which are not here, but even though I love chicken thighs more, they have slightly more fat. The fat pushes out some of the protein. If you want the most protein-rich food, chicken breast, and we'll talk about beef in a second, is great. A 3.5 ounce portion of chicken breast will have 24 to 25 grams of protein. Now, chicken thighs, the same portion, has about 21 grams of protein. It's still a lot, but you're getting a big bang of protein, and then it will naturally produce the GLP-1 hormone. If you combine that, like a side of that lentil pasta, you're starting to build a very satiety-rich meal that is GLP-1 inducing. Now, when it comes to beef, where's the beef? Here's the beef, like the lady in the Wendy's commercial would ask back in the day. This is the one you want. Even though I don't eat 93/7 at home, I like 80/20 because fat is flavor. You want lean to get more protein into your food, and this is about as good as they get. You might be able to get like a 98/2 for ground beef, but it's gonna have absolutely no flavor. 93/7 has just 7% fat, 93 beef, 3.5 ounce portion of this, 24 grams of protein, very, very satiating. Canned tuna fish is incredibly protein dense, and I'm gonna show you something I forgot to show you in the protein dense videos last month. But let's just pick up a Bobby approved one. I often say small tuna are the way to go. So skipjack or chunk light are smaller tuna. Smaller tunas have lower amount of mercury in there, but a 3 ounce portion of this has a whopping 20 grams of protein. The bigger fishes will have more mercury, but there's a brand called Safe Catch. They have it at Costco, and every batch is tested and has the lowest mercury. And that's a benefit to us because even though this is ahi, which is a bigger tuna means more protein because a 3 ounce portion, the same as a skipjack, has 26 grams of protein. That's an extra 6 grams, which is about 30% more protein. And we're getting the brand that we know does not have elevated levels of mercury. So if you have this and mix it with a cracker that we showed earlier, my gosh, the protein, high fiber, high satiating food, and foods that produce a good amount of the GLP-1 hormone. And yes, it might be easier to stick yourself with the old Ozempic, and it might be a quicker result, but this is more sustainable, and heck, it's way more cheap. Fats can help produce GLP-1 in the body, but only healthy fats. And actually it turns out that healthy fats and polyphenol-rich foods are both really good natural hormone GLP-1 inducing foods. So I got to thinking, what if you combine the two together? Healthy fat, extra virgin olive oil, polyphenol-rich foods. Yes, we'll talk about tea and coffee in a second, but hello, EVOO also. This is the ultimate cooking fat for people who want more GLP-1 inducing foods, because good extra virgin olive oil, and this is a good one, this is single estate California olive oil, is very, very high in polyphenols. Whereas if you eat a diet rich in seed oils like canola oil, these are not only processed and inflammatory, but they don't have any polyphenols. And unfortunately, a lot of foods will have the dreaded seed oils, as we know. So let's think about this for a second. If EVOO, which studies show that in type 2 diabetics, people who have a meal that's cooked in EVOO have more GLP-1 production after that. So let's put a few dots together here. You're gonna cook a meal. You get EVOO, you get the GLP-1 polyphenols and the good fat. You cook it with the pasta made out of lentils, you get the fiber, and then you put in some ground beef or a seared chicken breast on top. We just created maybe the most Bobby approved, highest GLP-1 inducing meal on the planet. Super cool. As I just mentioned, coffee and green tea are very polyphenol rich. So you get any of your favorite black coffees here, natural polyphenols. I drink every morning organic loose leaf jasmine tea. Why do I do a loose leaf? I've talked about it over the years. Green tea and tea in bags, 9 times out of 10, the bag is actually made of plastic or rayon. And when you're steeping that for 3 to 4 minutes in just boiled water, toxins and plastics from the rayon and plastic will leach into your tea. So always get loose leaf. The one I use at home is from Amazon, but it's delicious. And let it steep, and you get the polyphenols. You don't get the plastics. And if you want your coffee every morning, you're getting polyphenols too. Berries, as we probably all know, are very high in polyphenols, but they are expensive. Buying frozen berries are much more economical. And what I like to do to create a very protein and satiating snack is thaw some of these and then put it in a yogurt bowl. You get polyphenols and you get the protein and the fat from the yogurt. Protein and fat, very satiating. Polyphenols top it off with that GL1 boost. Chocolate is a great source of polyphenols, but maybe even better is cocoa powder. And this is interesting because this is cocoa powder and this is cacao powder. Both are great, both are polyphenol rich. Cacao is essentially the raw form of the powder. This is usually Dutch process to remove a little bit of the natural bitterness. It's totally a preference to you, but both are polyphenol rich. And fun fact, we use the cocoa powder and a lot of it in our Flav City chocolate protein smoothie. And a lot of people who are on GLP-1s will drink that because it really gives you the protein and it's very satiating. You can grab that on Amazon. But that is it, my friends. That's the top 5 or 6 or 7 natural GLP-1 inducing foods at the grocery store. I just wanted to put the info out there. I know drugs like Mounjaro and OZEMPIC are very popular, and yes, they work. But if you're willing to put in a little more work and wait for the effects, the foods at the grocery store and good old Mother Nature will do it for you also. And like I said, a lot of these foods I talked about today in the middle aisles are on Thrive Market, and my link down below gets you 30% off your first order and a free gift. And the sale, the fall sale on hundreds of items is going till 10/13. So make sure to scoop that too. But from the grocery store, my favorite place, I leave you like I always do. Hashtag keep on cooking. Mad love from me to you, and peace. Bye.